Hi folks, this is Danny at Bradley James Classics, and today's classic is a instantly recognisable Triumph Herald. This one's from 1969. Now the car itself presents ever so nicely, and it goes straight into the category of an everyday working classic. Now that means it starts, drives, stops, does everything you'd want to do from a little classic car. It's been very reliable, it's been well loved from the previous owner. And he explains that he would be happy to jump in this car and drive it anywhere in the country. Well, we'll see about that. I've certainly had a nice little drive, a short drive, albeit just up here to one of my storage units, and I'm going to show you around this car. Now, the car itself will be thoroughly inspected before it leaves us as our PDI. Now, the car's actually been run as a tax and MOT exempt car. It actually starts first or second time, and I can collaborate that because I've tried that myself. The engine bay is very clean. It's got a very nice smooth gearbox, something you have to watch out for on the Heralds, and the back axle is not noisy, and overall just a nice driving experience. Now the bottom half of the car, and I've got a feeling they call that one spruce green, but it's a pleasant green colour, and then it looks like perhaps an old English white on top. So a classic two-tone Herald, and then being a 1200cc, they've got a bit more get up and go than the smaller engine one, of course, and you can poodle around on this car and do 60 miles up the motorway quite happily, and expect to get where you want to go. Inside, it's in nice condition. It's got black vinyl seats, the classic wooden dashboard. Now the dashboard is not absolutely perfect. It has got some sun damage to the dashboard, which is quite common on these. Got a really nice set of carpets in it. There's a period radio by Sharp, which is quite nice, but it does get in the way of the gear knob a little bit. They usually don't have a radio, but this one has. So it's got its original steering wheel, all the switch gear as you would expect, headlining all present and not ripped. As I say, the black interior does look pretty decent. Seat belts fitted. And it looks like it's even got rear seat belts as well, so great for the grandkids in the back as well. Quite unique in that they're very easy to get at, the engines on here. You only got to pull a couple of levers out and you're in. So I don't usually start with the engine bay, but on a Herald it's one of the easy things to be able to show off, and even with one hand on my own I can do all that to the car. Look at that, there's the whole front of the car tips forward, but that does give you easy and pretty instant access to the engine. Now there's that 1200cc engine, little pancake filter, so it's got a nice little minor roar, but not too much of a roar. A large battery, so that's why it starts well, and I've noticed a battery isolator, which is always handy to have. There's the brake and clutch master cylinder sitting up here. Nice matching set of radial tyres all round, and it's all very respectable in this engine bay. Let's go around the other side and we can have a look there as well. That brake pipe looks as it's from this century, so that's a good sign. Rocker cover in nice nick. It keeps its original dynamo. It's running the original fuel pump. Very easy car to work on, especially because you can tip the whole front of the car over to really get at everything, including steering, suspension, brakes. A very easy car to maintain and work on, the Herald. Companies like Rimmers are very good at keeping their parts. Now that's me just putting the bonnet down again, and you just push those levers in and that clips into place. Now I'm going to walk around the car slowly. Now obviously a car of this age, and let me see, it's about 55 years old. As I get in close, this front wing is in nice condition. There's a little bit of paint that's come off here, but that's very common because it gets very close to that bonnet when it's swinging open. So a little bit of imperfection if I get up very closely. Bottom of that door looks respectable, as does that seal. If I get in very closely here, that's a bit of paint that looks a bit ancient. Looks quite honest through here. Getting very closely. There's a very few tiny little scuffs, but again, I'm on close-up mode to see that. The wheel embellishers are really nice. It's very solid underneath. We've had the opportunity of looking at there. So the silk looks good. Looks like a stainless steel exhaust. Nice size boot in the Herald. That's all nicely carpeted. There's the fuel tank. And for those in the know, there's a little tap at the front, and that's how you get it into a reserve fuel mode. But I'm sure if you know your Herald, you would have already known that. As I walk around the car, this rear wing is in good order. The bottom of the door, now there's a little bit of grizzling here and a little bit of a sort of a rust right down low and a little bit grizzly through the bottom of that door, but again, I step back a few feet and it's very hard to see. Very forgiving colour, this green, but it's by no means a mess. It's respectable and it's honest. And the rest of the side of this car is very good. In fact, the whole boot area, the bonnet area is very nice. There's a little crack here in the paintwork. There's some bubbling up of the chrome on this front headlamp, but the overriders are good, as is the rubber strip through the front. So that's, it's very good through the roof as well. And if I come in from this side, there's the door card here, all black. The seat's in really nice condition actually, and as is the rear seat. And I've got the first aid box in there. I thought it was only Mercedes and BMWs that gave you those. Okay, now, big old steering wheel in these. Lovely old badge, standard Triumph. And displaying 67,000 miles. Very difficult to warrant such mileage. I'm afraid it doesn't come with a great deal of paperwork either. Obviously the logbook, ignition key there, and there's all the switch gear, looking quite handsome with that wooden dashboard. And as mentioned, if I get in close there's some areas of the dashboard that will probably benefit. You can take these out and revarnish them actually. That's a nice little job for the weekend. But it's nice here, wooden gear stick, all the carpet. Doesn't look very old, this carpet. I assume it's had a carpet set. So I think it presents very nicely. It certainly goes well. And as you can hear that engine. That's pretty smooth. Now, for me who knows, I can tell it's got a pancake filter on because it just sounds slightly sportier by about 3%. So there we are. But the car itself drives ever so well. You've got, I think I mentioned earlier, good gearbox and back axle, which is something you always have a listen out when you buy a Herald. So when we get these cars in, they go through our workshop, and our guys are very accustomed to working and repairing and in some cases renovating these old cars, and Triumphs are one of the easiest cars to work on. They do have a bit of a reputation of being a little rusty underneath, but we have had the opportunity to get under here. Now it's very difficult as I'm walking around to show you too much, but I will have a go. There we go. And as you can look from the back here, I think that's confirmed that it is a stainless steel exhaust, and it's all from when we checked it out. Pretty solid and firm under there. There's no need to ring your mate up. The car is good to go. So, I hope you've enjoyed having a look around this Herald today. It does drive ever so nice. We can arrange delivery anywhere in the UK for a sensible price. We just need your postcode for a quote. We can take in your existing classic car, modern or light commercial. Now the classics cars, that if they're any good, we will resell them. But the modern and light commercials, we have somebody who's in that game who takes all our part exchanges and pays a fair price for them. So if that helps, we can facilitate a sale that way. And here she is. One final little sweep around the car, and hopefully you'll see a nicely presented little Triumph Herald from 1969, a great starter classic, a good everyday working classic, and actually at the price point these are at, they do make a great little buy. Neither do they massively go up and down in value. They're always a solid seller. People like them, and of course the Herald shares the chassis with cars like the Spitfire, the GT6, the Vitesse. So there was always plenty of these around back in the day, but this was the 1200 saloon that there was probably the most of. So thank you for watching today's video. If you do require any further information or would like to come and see this car, please call the number, send me a message, and we will connect, and I will be more than happy to show this lovely car to you or arrange for its delivery anywhere in the UK. Thanks for your attention on today's video, folks. It's Danny and Bradley James signing out.